Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Helping B2B High Ticket Service Providers Grow One Lesson at a Time. As you already know by now, my name is Dan Dimkov and I'm the host. And every episode, I'll actually invite different people that have a very fantastic story to share and great insight. For today, we have Rose Davidson on the call. Rose, welcome.
Thank you, it's lovely to be here and congratulations on the new podcast. It's pretty exciting.
Thank you very much. A side note, actually, was it a few months ago or actually last month where I actually was a guest on Rose podcast and I really had a great time. And she was one of the people that inspired me actually to start this podcast. So thank you very much, Rose, for that as well.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, podcasting is the way to go now. I do believe. I think it's the new way to learn and listen.
Exactly. Well, I've realized that some people want to read, other wants to watch videos, third group of people just want audio. And I mean, we just want to be able to reach to different target audience. And Rose, I'm sure that I know you pretty good, but I would love to give you some introduction by you on who you are and what you do for everybody that are meeting you for the first time.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name's Rose Davidson. My business is rosedavidson.com and I am an online event manager is my main role.
Ooh, nice.
I teach people to take their offline events and put them online because of the way that the world is spinning these days. You can't always rely on having an in-person event. So you need to be able to pivot at the last minute and be able to take your in-person event to an online format just at the spin of a wheel, because nothing's certain these days, and lockdowns happen. Well, in Australia, they happen at the drop of a hat. So
yeah. Well, interestingly, Rose, Corona positively, I assume, affected your business, because if you're doing online events, people were pushed toward digital transformation, and all the physical events were started looking like, okay, we haven't done it online so far. What should we do? Which direction should we take?
Yes, very true. A lot of it was to do with that, speaking events just dried up, and a lot of speakers just gave up and went and did other things because they couldn't book any venues, and a lot of consultants and so forth. Those people that actually give in-person events have just, disappeared off the planet for a time until everything settled down. But now everything's just so uncertain because, you could be rolling along one day and for weeks and weeks and weeks, and all of a sudden, COVID comes and attacks your town and everyone's in lockdown and you can't do anything about it. So you need to be able to take that event online and be able to liaise or coordinate or confer with your audience to just let them know that there's no in-person event anymore and we're going to be doing it online, and this is how you go about doing it.
Yeah, and I'm really curious. People had physical events. Now during the corona, everybody had to choose to move to the online. But now when things are slowly going back to normal, did some of the people decide to continue just online? They've realized that, wait, physical events, you need the location, you need the logistics, you need people physically to come in. While with the online, I mean, you just open Zoom and you can just talk, just like we're currently doing.
A lot of people are doing hybrid events now. So they're part in person and part online. Mm-hmm. They're finding that I think they get a bigger range of an audience that way, because some people like in-person events because of the interaction that you get. It's like talking to a camera. You can't really see at the other side of the camera who's watching. You can't see their facial. You could be making faces at me right at the moment and I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty of online events, is that you have no personal interaction. There's no body language. You can't, you just can't see who you're speaking to. Where an in-person event, you get feedback from the audience just by the look on their face, whether they're engaged or they're playing with their phones or doing whatever they're doing.
It's not just with speaking. Honestly, Rose, we do some trainings, and when you do physical training, you can see the people, whether they're looking like weird-eyed, have no idea what you just said, or they're like, yeah, exactly. And then that feedback is really important when you're trying to do a speaking event or actually any kind of training.
It is, it is a lot. And this is the thing that a lot of the speakers had to get over was the fact that there'd be no feedback at the other side of the camera. They wouldn't know. They'd just be giving, you know, their presentation, and they wouldn't know who was watching or what was happening behind the scenes. So it was always good to have someone with them to help behind the scenes, that they could keep the audience engaged while the speaker was speaking. This is another one of the services that I actually offer, is to work behind the scenes for a speaker or consultant who's giving a workshop. And that way I can still keep the audience entertained and ask them questions while the speaker is speaking, and not to get not necessarily distracted from what the speaker is saying, but just so that they're still engaged, and that means the speaker's still engaged, because they can read the chat later and say, oh yeah, and get back to that person and answer that particular question.
That's really, really interesting. So actually, if I'm a speaker, you're taking care of the entire event. It's not just setting up to the online, but like the logistics, the promotion, all the aspects of the online event you're taking care of, Rose?
Yes, I do all I make all the templates for them, so that they can, I mean, they need to do their own marketing. I won't do that for them. I will help them, but I won't do it for them, because that's not my thing, marketing. But but doing the creative side of it is, and then sitting with them, whether it's online, you know, I'm in a different state or different country, I can still monitor the chat online for them while they're giving their presentation, and just keeping the audience engaged.
Nice, nice. Well, I assume that you need to juggle between a lot of hats within these services, because if you're making an event online, you need to also have some technical understanding, and you need to know what works and what doesn't. So when it comes to expertise, I'm sure that you don't have just one expertise, but plenty of different ones. But for the sake of this guest recording, we are always around one expertise that you're proud of, like the one expertise that you really think that you want to share with the rest of the world.
Yeah, I really love to make PowerPoint presentations.
Nice.
I like the creativity of it. I like putting the animations in, and I like finding the graphics, and I like being able to make the little people move in them. I think that's the coolest thing out. It's not as good as being an animator, which one day I hope to learn how to do that, to animate things. But in the meantime, I have PowerPoint, and I can actually turn them into a video and then play with it that way. So I have no qualms whatsoever.
Nice. I'm thinking, Rose, at the moment, you know, people have native app. Some people really know how to express them in PowerPoint. Other people are Word type. They just open a Word and they start typing in a Word. Third type, actually, I fall in the third one. I'm an Excel guy. If you give me an Excel, everything is there, even text, even charts, even everything. And the PowerPoint requires creativity, because it gives you the opportunity to express yourself much better. So I'm curious, is it hard to be transferred from an Excel guy who wants the numbers and the analytics to a PowerPoint?
No, because I think a numbers person, you know, like yourself, would love PowerPoint, because really numbers are creative, and so is PowerPoint. You get to use, you know, probably a different side of your brain, which is a good exercise for your brain.
Nice. Well, I've realized that the PowerPoint can have many usages. In your case, the most PowerPoints that you're doing are for the presenters, for the online events cases?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes I do them for, I can make the PowerPoint app, and then I make it into a video for people, so that they can actually run it in the background rather than, you know, press the clicker. I haven't had a lot of call for that, because I don't think people actually realise that they can have a PowerPoint turned into a video. So that's something that I probably need to push that a bit further. But anyway.
Yeah, I really didn't know.
Yeah, you can actually turn it into a video. You can actually, in the slideshow bit, you can actually or save it as a video, but you still have to click through it to keep the timing right. So that's up to the person who's created the PowerPoint. But it's really cool, because you get to see all the animations work at the end. It's really neat.
No, nice. I haven't tried that one. I mean, when it comes to PowerPoint presentation, as a company, we've done like for sales purposes, creating a short presentation, or for pitch for business plan competition, where you create like a 5 to 10 slides deck, which needs
Mm.
to be really summarized and really well thought. And I was really struggling with that part. Honestly, Rose, when it comes to aesthetics, it's one thing I know my numbers, but then how to make them appealing on PowerPoint, it's not something that anybody can do it as simple as you're saying it.
No, yeah, well, I guess there's horses for courses then, Joe. People are good at what they do, and they're, brain wired to do it, or they're not. It's some people can paint, beautiful masterpieces, and
Exactly.
other people can't draw a stick figure to save themselves. So, it's much like that. I mean, I
And
can't draw to save myself, but I love doing these because and I've actually worked on a PowerPoint recently. It was 68 slides long.
wow,
68.
wow,
And honestly, they had about 10 lines of text on it, like 10-foot bullet points on each slide for about 20 slides. I thought, oh my God, why are you having to say so much? This is the bit that you're supposed to be talking to the slide. You're not supposed to be reading from it. And it was just giving me a headache.
yeah,
And
I was.
the text was all misaligned, and the images and graphics didn't go with the text because they just put something in there because it looked pretty, but it had nothing to do with the topic on that particular slide at all. I thought, please, just
Yeah, funny that you mentioned. Many times when we see PowerPoint, people are like just copy it from the Word document, paste it into the PowerPoint slide,
oh,
and then just hello everybody and start just reading, reading,
yeah,
reading, reading.
nothing worse. But this
Ah,
is why we have presenter view in PowerPoints, so that you can have one screen open
mhm.
which has got all your slides, and it's not showing, it's got your complete slide, it's not showing the little slides at the side. And then you can you can refer to your notes if you've been clever enough to add notes to your slides on a different screen, so that no one's going to know that you're reading from there, because your slides are up and everyone can see them, and there's no notes under them. But only you, the presenter, know that there's notes that you're referring to.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
Other than that,
I've started now doing using the notes on the bottom, but I think this
mm,
is really like an evolution. When you start using slides, you put all the word, then you start realizing that it's boring. Then you start making bullet points as a reminder to yourself on what is the topic that you need to do. But you need to get there. So I was curious, Rose, how did you get to become really an expert in PowerPoint?
I taught myself, and then I just looked at other people's, how they were doing their PowerPoints, and I asked questions. And there's one lady in America, she's an absolute whiz at them, and she can do stuff that I can't do. But I've learned a lot from her just by watching what she does. And if I don't know something, I'll go to Mr. Google, because Mr. Google knows everything.
Yeah, and I assume that there are also some very nice templates that you can at least start from, so you don't need to
Oh,
start from scratch.
yes. Yes, I actually have a subscription for 3D PowerPoint presentations. So there's a lot of animated characters and animated
Nice.
templates that I use, and you can just take a graph out of one of them and put it into another PowerPoint presentation, and no one will know that you haven't actually made it up yourself. So, and it goes up and down, all the lines move, and the little bars
Hmm.
move up and down, and it's really cool. I really love it.
Yeah,
And it's for subscription's not expensive, and it's a lifetime subscription, so I don't really care.
yeah. I'm thinking that a few years back, like a lot of years back, people were hiring animators to actually make this kind of animation. So while you're talking,
Mm.
and now with PowerPoint, you can just take it from some other template, copy it on your.
Yeah, you can actually do morphing in PowerPoint. So you can actually, a series of slides looks like an animation. I've only ever tried it once, and it was really thrilling for me to learn how to do that. But I've not had any need to do it. It was only for my own pleasure. And no one's, maybe people don't know that you can actually do that in PowerPoint. So
Yeah.
actually make it into an animation. by morphing their slides. But yeah, it was really cool. I really liked it.
No, I'm really enjoying this. I've realized that I should try a bit with the PowerPoint. I was like in my head, when I need to do something, I just open a new spreadsheet and I still write text and stuff, but I can relate to the numbers and I'm more on the columns and rows. And
Yeah.
I'm interested, Rose. I mean, as you've done a lot of PowerPoint presentation and you've seen even more on what's good and what's bad, what's the lesson, the single lesson that you want to share? And we're joking here, like, if you want to be remembered by the one thing in the world that you've said, whatever you do, don't do this or do this. When it comes to the PowerPoint presentation, what would be that one lesson?
The one lesson, oh my goodness, I mean, I've seen so many bad things, but I guess the one lesson is to keep it simple. So use the KISS principle. So keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that often. And you're right there, because when I see populated slides, as you said, 10 bullet points plus 3 images, it's like, where should I look now? Where should I start from?
That's exactly right. And then people are too busy looking at the slide and they're not listening to you, or you are reading from, your notes. And so it's distracting to the audience and they quickly lose patience with you, and either they walk out or they start playing with their phones, or they're thinking about what they're going to go get for dinner or whatever. They're not paying attention. So I guess the one thing I really want to share is just keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate what you do. It's distracting, it's boring, and there's nothing worse than sitting through a presentation that is deaf by PowerPoint.
Yeah, and now with the online presentation, I can just open a new tab, Facebook, and continue scrolling while you're actually trying to give your best presentation.
That's correct, yes. And I certainly don't want that when I'm giving my presentations. I don't want people to be distracted. So I try to make my slides as nice looking and aesthetically pleasing as possible, but not too busy so that they having to read the whole slide and absolutely not listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah, nice. You're spot on there, Rose. And I was curious, I mean, for PowerPoint, you have Microsoft PowerPoint. Are there any tools that are similar to that or better?
Yeah, Apple Keynote is very similar to PowerPoint. You can actually download Microsoft PowerPoint to Keynote. And so if someone sends you a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, you can actually turn that into a Keynote. For the other way around, you can still do that, but you need to have Keynote downloaded on your PC. And they don't talk to each other very well. I did a very nice slide presentation for somebody recently. I didn't realize that she was a Mac user. And so when she opened up the slides, of course, they weren't lined up anything like I'd sent them. And I was so disappointed because I'd spent like 2 days on these slides.
Wow.
And it was a long time. And and so she decided not to use them. And I was so disappointed because she's not a tech savvy person. So even though I sent her instructions, really clear instructions on how to convert the slides from PowerPoint to Keynote, she couldn't work it out. And she got frustrated and she just gave up. And she wouldn't even let me share screens with her to walk her through the process. That's how frustrated she was. And to me, it was really disappointing because, she paid me money to make up these slides and then she's not going to use them. And I think, well, that's just a waste of both of our time. But what do you do? So you just have to be mindful of that. If you're using a Mac, which has Keynote, and your VA or whoever that you're getting to do your slides with is a Microsoft user, you need to remember that you need to tell each other what programs you're using so that they can make allowances. It's really, really important.
Well, that is an important lesson on the side record, to beware in which platform are you using. But Rose, you mentioned something I wanted to ask. What is a normal time to create a good PowerPoint presentation? I mean, I don't know even how to benchmark. Actually, on average, how much usually do you take to create a PowerPoint presentation in time?
It depends on, it takes me a little bit longer time to make them if I have to start from scratch. If I've already got a presentation to work on, tidying it up doesn't take me as long, because I just really need to just either change the images or make them look a bit more pretty by putting bevels around them, or do whatever, and just line up the text. So, you know, a 68 slide deck, it took me 2 days, but that's, you know, that wasn't working constantly on them either, because, you know, you can't just sit there and just do PowerPoints all day, because it's fries your brain.
Yeah, it's exhausting, the creative part of the brain.
Yeah, don't have coffee breaks.
Yeah, well, no, that's why I was curious, because people, when they say PowerPoint, in someone's head it's like, that's like 5 minutes, you just put the text and that's it. For someone it's like a week, and I just wanted to get the idea. So it's like few days of work.
No, see, I'm too fussy. I'm too fussy to just go and slap something on a slide and say that's pretty. No, sorry.
Exactly.
No.
Well, Rose, what are the plans for you in the future? I mean, I'm curious to see where your business is headed, or where do you want to drive it in the future?
I would like to drive it to be the person that people come to get their PowerPoint slides made, or their online events organised. I want to have, you know, a team working for me. At the moment, I'm just doing it by myself, but, you know, 2 or 3 years down the track, I'd like to have a team working for me.
Nice. Having a whole team and be the go-to guy. You need a PowerPoint.
Yeah,
I know a
I
girl.
want to be the go-to guy. I do. Yeah.
Nice. Well, if anybody is interested actually to give them their presentation for you to review, or if they need the help for a complete building of a PowerPoint, or even if they need help with an online event, where can people find you, Rose?
Well, I have website is at rose-davidson.com, or they can email me at hello@rose-davidson.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Rose Davidson. And yeah, that's about, on LinkedIn at Rose Davidson.
Yeah, I was actually communicating with you on LinkedIn, so at least I knew that we can find you on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, so yeah, website, Facebook, PowerPoint, or email. That's probably the easiest ways to find me.
Yeah, exactly. Rose, I found this very insightful. I mean, as I was taking notes, now I'm looking like, okay, one thing that I really realized that I should be careful is that look at the present view, put the notes in the bottom, not inside the slide, so it won't be boring. That's really useful. The keep it simple, the KISS model, it really needs to have a presentation that is appealing, rather than put everything like 10, 20 bullet points and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the audience is your primary target, right? You don't make your slide presentation to please you.
Yeah, to actually entertain them.
Your audience. Yeah,
exactly.
You've got to make your audience happy.
And
so you've got to find out who they are and please them.
And the third thing that I wrote here is beware between PowerPoint and Apple Keynotes. They don't always integrate as smooth as you're hoping to. And yeah, there's no way me as a normal guy would know these things. And actually, that's why I wanted this kind of interviews, because as we're learning new stuff, I'm like, I never actually thought, because I'm a Microsoft guy my whole life. And I was never even considered that, yeah, well, if I send someone a PowerPoint and they're in the Apple ecosystem, they might have problems and conversions and stuff, which I don't know. I never had that kind of thoughts, because I'm a Microsoft my whole life.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And I knew Keynote existed, but I didn't realize it was so troublesome. So.
Well, Rose, I really appreciate you coming on as a guest. Thank you very much for your time. And for everybody else, if you need a PowerPoint or an online event, feel free to reach out to Rose. You've realized that she does magic there.
Oh, Dencho, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure.
Yeah. Have a great day, Rose, and thank you again.
You too. Bye.